As a transformation coach, many people often write me and they're like, Drew, what transformation did you go through? And they see my before and after pictures and they're impressed. I changed physically. But one of the biggest things that we often neglect is the mental transformation. I'm talking about mindset. And recently I read a book by Carol Schweck. She's a Stanford psychologist. Amazing book, and I'm going to talk to you more about the book in this video. But first I want to tell you a personal story that happened a long time ago. As a kid growing up, I was abused, tortured, and you've probably seen some of my other videos in regards to this. There was a lot of healing that took place in my younger years. Long story short, I was adopted into a family that was ultimately the most loving, caring family that I could ever wish for. My mom and dad, Connie and Jeff, amazing people. They were so loving, in fact, that, and I see a lot of parents doing this today, and it can almost be a pitfall, where instead of awarding me for the struggles that I was going through in school, they were always praising me. So if I got an A, it was always like, Drew, you're the best. You did such an amazing job. And every single thing that I would do, I started choosing things that I know I could master quickly. And that's a trap, because it's like a quick fix. And America is so hung up on quick fixes nowadays. I mean, take for instance the Extreme Weight Loss Challenge. As a transformation coach, I love Chris Paul's work. I'm not knocking him by any means. But you can watch the show, and in 45 to 60 minutes, you've seen somebody lose almost 300 pounds, and it's almost like a quick fix. So people have this on their subconscious mind. They go out throughout the day, and they think that that's obtainable. Like, this is the reality that we live in. And that's not the reality. What happened to awarding people for their struggle, for awarding people for their triumph, for all the trials and tribulations that they went through? I look out at you, and I see many struggles. I see people that have all these diverse diseases and things that they're going through, weight loss challenges and mental challenges that they're running into constantly. And the world doesn't want to see that. What the world wants to see is the victory. The victory is very sexy. The struggle, not so much. So as a transformation coach and specialist, one thing that we work on for you is your identity. Once you start our program, we work on your identity. It's formulating your why based around your identity. Because you could have a physical transformation. You could get in the best shape of your life, have more energy, mental focus, and all the other benefits of the transformation process. But at the end of it, you could go right back to the way that you were. And the reason for that is because your identity hasn't changed around it, also known as identity coaching. So one of the big cornerstones of identity coaching is working on two different distinct types of mindsets. Number one is a fixed mindset. Number two is a growth mindset. And it can be taken from this book, Mindset by Carol Schweck. Let's get the book right there. Amazing book, by the way. So what is a fixed mindset, and what does it have to do with you? A fixed mindset is, relating back to my story, is you choose things that you can do easily, effortlessly, where you look good, right? You look good to the world. And this is a trap. Everybody wants to look good, but not everybody wants to work for it. So you go out and you choose things that are real, simple, easy, just to knock it out. And a growth mindset is you do whatever it takes. You wake up every single day, springing up out of bed, wanting the challenge, wanting the struggle, wanting things to come in that are going to force you beyond who you were previously. It's going to force you in a state of your higher self, somebody who's thinking more creatively, creatively, somebody who is in control of their life, not letting their life control them, not waiting for the victory, but instead going out and finding something that's challenging, finding something to have fear over. And this person with the growth mindset is also the person that doesn't look at fear as fear. They look at fear as excitement. And the feeling of fearful is just that bottled up excitement ready to take on that challenge or that struggle. So there's two very different mindsets that we have today. We got the growth mindset, we have the fixed mindset. So there's a way to evaluate it. And in Carol's book, she explains it I'm not really going to get into it in this video, but maybe I'll do another future one and explain this too as well. But you can definitely check out the book. The next thing that I want to talk about is, and it's all relative, it's going to tie this thing together, is that parents raising their kids. Okay, there's effective ways to communicate with your kids that are going to raise a child with the growth mindset, somebody that is much more successful in their life growing up. It's simple, okay? Instead of always awarding your kid for getting that A, start recognizing the journey. So instead of waiting for them at the finish line, and depending on how they do is how you award them, let's cultivate a society that awards people for their journey, for their struggle, for the triumph of getting over. Because what we don't really see is if, you know, little Susie is awesome at math and she gets straight A's, but she's terrible at science. She may be trying 50 times harder in science and growing as a person, infinitely more than she did in that math class. But we kind of just disregard it when she comes home with that C on her report card. What we need to start doing is watching the journey and then applying that to your own life. You know, regardless of whether or not you're a parent, I want to ask you a question. How are you having a fixed mindset? Whereas you're just doing things that are easy, effortless, you just can stroll through your day, it's just simple, it's a state of complacement. Maybe you're in a fixed relationship. You know, you're in a relationship that you know probably isn't serving your higher self. It's not conducive to you growing as a person, but yet you continue to stay in it because you're afraid of being alone. 90% of America is actually, in fact, afraid of being alone, so they'd rather be in a bad relationship than to have a good relationship, a growth relationship, something that's going to propel you into the future together. That's a growth relationship. Same thing can go for your finances. Maybe you have a job, you've been doing the same thing for 2 or 3 years. You're at a point where you're fixed. It's easy for you. You have all these sales relationships with these other companies and money just seems to be coming in. It's not pushing you to triumph along the journey longer. So I want to encourage you today to start thinking about getting a growth mindset in this transformation process. It's vitally important and it literally has the power to change your life. This book is great. It's filled with all other stories, all other ways to apply it, tools, tips to recognize, even a test to see if you have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. I highly recommend it. I want you to know, and I really want you to feel this when I say this to you, that failure is awesome. It's a really, really good thing because that's just another opportunity to see success on the other side. Thomas Edison failed over 2,000 times in creating the light bulb, but he created the light bulb because he was comfortable with the growth mindset. Walt Disney, same way. He went to the 280 banks or something like that before a bank actually said, yes, we'll give you the money, Walt. So I want you to start thinking about failure as being fun. And you can say things to your kids like that too as a parent. You know, isn't this struggle great? This is amazing. We're having so much fun struggling through this. During the downturn of the economy, things are hard, but as a family, we're coming together and we're having fun. We're figuring out creative ways to make money for the family, to put food on the table and veggies in the juicer. I want you to start thinking that, okay? Also, you know, the language that we choose to use with kids. If something's too easy, you know, if they're getting an A in class, be like, oh, that's great, you're getting an A. Wouldn't it be nice to kind of have a challenge? This isn't even a challenge for you, Timmy. Let's start doing things that will challenge you and get them involved in the process, get involved in the journey so that they start choosing things that are going to force them in a growth mindset. Anyway, leave a comment below, and also if you like these types of videos, I absolutely love making Mindset Mondays, give this a big old thumbs up. And when you do comment below, let me know of areas in your life where you've had a fixed mindset and make a commitment to me to push past those, okay? As a coach, I love hearing from you, the struggles, the trials, the tribulations that you're going through so that I can really read through those and respond back to you accordingly. Because at the end of the day, you know this and I know this. Remember, we're in this together. Thanks for watching, FitLifers. Make sure you subscribe, check out last week's Mindset Monday, and find me on Facebook. And also, what are you struggling with? Comment below and tell me your story. Remember, we're in this together.